Alright, looks like at the top right position as the teal Terran, we will have merz, and at the bottom right as the red zerg, we will have IFU's eOnzErG. Wasting no time getting into this game. Now, I think we're actually back in the round of 32? We are back in the round of 32. So we've gone backwards in time. And I believe this will be the first match Eon plays. So merz defeated an unknown opponent in the first round. Because I'm actually looking at the bracket. His opponent was literally called Unknown. and eOnzErG got a bye, so this is eOnzErG's first game here. I think eOnzErG is also streaming, by the way, so if you want to check out his first-person view, you can definitely do that. That might actually be ahead of the stream too, so you can watch it. I don't know if Eon's I don't know if Eon is playing with a stream delay. I don't think he normally does stream delay. So you can tell us what happens in the future of this game. Except no, please don't do that. No spoilerinos. Alright, so, yeah, I guess I knew that merz was Terran all along, I just forgot it, and we can see what happens here. You know? I'm like the chick from the Adam Sandler movie. What's that called? Like 50 First Dates or something? 30 First Dates? You know, it's the one with Adam Sandler, and then the lady keeps losing her memory every day. So he has to, he basically has to like ask her out on a date every single day. Or something like that. Man, that movie got super weird at the end too. Alright, spoiler alert. At the end, like, they end up on a boat or something, and she actually has a kid while still not remembering stuff. So every day she just wakes up, and there's just a kid there that's like, hey mom, and she just has no idea who this kid is. I mean, it seems terrifying to me. I was like, I mean, I think that movie was supposed to be romantic, but I got some serious trauma from that ending. I was like, what? That sounds awful. Anyway. Alright, what's happening over here? We had a pool first opening from eOnzErG. Not opting for the 12 hatch, even though it is a ZvT and not a ZvP. eOnzErG does love his early aggression. And we have what presumably would be a 1-Rax expand from merz if eOnzErG wasn't blocking it. Alright, he's moving back now, but these early lings could be really bad, because unfortunately for merz, he scattered the wrong way. So he scattered top left, bottom left, and now bottom right. So he is not going to see these lings coming. He could potentially just die right here, which would be very unfortunate. Hey, what's up, Mazor? What's up, Mazor from 3 minutes in the past? Oh god, he sees it! Pull the SCVs! Run! SCV attack! Oh no, one Marine is dead! Oh, SCVs, come on, you gotta be OP! SCV Sagi! Ah! Oh my god, SCV Sagi, it worked. Wait, stay on that side. eOnzErG, by the way, is rallying more lings. Look at the minimap. Lings coming in 2 at a time. He might, if he forces a cancel on that hatchery, that'd be pretty huge. Alright, grabs another SCV. Oh man, merz has to be so careful. He's only got 2 Marines here. If those Marines die, I think he'll just lose the game. He's got, but eOnzErG keeps picking off the SCV that's building the command center as well. Oh my god, eOnzErG goes for this round! He's going for this round, the SCVs are on the wrong side! The SCVs are on the wrong side. He drills backwards, catches half of the Zerglings, but the other half get into his base, kill his Marines. merz is in so much trouble. He's even going to catch the fresh Marine that spawned from the barracks here. Is he building a bunker? He's not building a bunker. I think merz is actually just going to die to this non-stop stream of Zerglings. And GG from merz, eOnzErG, with the classic Eon move, taking down his opponent in under 5 minutes here. Alright, at the bottom right position as the red Zerg, we do have IFU eOnzErG. And at the top left as the teal Terran, we do have merz. So, merz, down 0-1 in this series. This is best of 3. He's got to win 2 games in a row against eOnzErG. Which is, let's say it's a little bit difficult. That is slightly on the complicated side. But you never know. I mean, at least for him, you know, for merz, the good thing for merz is that eOnzErG spawned at the bottom right, which means he can't do the larva trick, right? So he's gonna get like 8 less minerals because his larva can't be moved to the other side. There you go, guys. You gotta look at the glass half full, right? By the way, speaking of glass half full, I never quite understood why like there's even a discussion, because like the way I see it, if the glass starts empty and then I pour water into it halfway, it is now half full. If the glass starts full of water and I drink half of it, it's now half empty. That's it. It just depends on what your starting state was, right? I guess, actually, wait, no, I guess so then you could say, well, what happens if you don't know what the initial state of the glass was, right? You don't know whether it started empty or full. In which case, I would respond with, don't take half full glasses of waters from strangers, because that's how you get roofied. So there you go, see? End of discussion. Easy peasy, clear cut. We solved it. We've solved the age-old phrase? Adage? Idiom? What even is that? Anyway, we got a 12 hatch here from eOnzErG, unlike last game where he did go pool first. And looks like SCV Scout is gonna scout him second. Oh man, could you imagine if he had a cross map now? How super unlucky that would be. Well, it's interesting that eOnzErG went 12 hatch here, not on Fighting Spirit. The map should be the same size, right? The rush distance should be the same. Maybe he just wants to mix it up a little bit. merz is unafraid, despite what happened to him last game, so he's going for the 1-Rax expand yet again. And that should be absolutely fine for him here against the cross map 12 hatch. And he's gonna see the 3 hatch build from eOnzErG as well. And eOnzErG, I think, saw him coming down with the SCV here. I don't think he saw the command center placed, but I think he saw the SCV. So he should be happy as well knowing what his opponent is doing. So we can now see an actual quote-unquote proper game. Alright. Drone guy just coming. Whoa! Is he looking for an overlord? It appears he's looking for an overlord, but why would there actually be an overlord on this side? Because the first overlord went vertically, right? Or does the first overlord not normally go vertically? Does it normally go horizontally? Maybe it does. Very interesting. So the way he looked at this was as if the first overlord would have gone that way, which sometimes it does, right? Sometimes you send your first overlord horizontally because your second overlord can go vertically very easily without being at risk of dying to marines. So you send the first overlord horizontally to go to the far away natural like this, and then your second one can freely go there, and it doesn't matter anymore. But that's not what eOnzErG did here. So nice attempt by merz. He even looked for this one over here, but eOnzErG leaving it in the safe spot. And looks like merz is going to come back in here with an SCV. Going to see the lair timing, going to see no den of any kind. It's almost certainly 3 hatch muta. I can't even remember if I've seen eOnzErG go lurkers. Now, having said that, given that I have a memory of a 3-year-old, that's not a very valuable statement, because that could also mean that I watched eOnzErG go 3 hatch lurker this morning and I've simply forgotten it. So you can't really quite trust what I'm saying here on stream. You really probably shouldn't even be listening to me at all. But you know what? I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad. Okay, so looks like there is the Spire at the natural. And Sigling's gonna poke in the front. Nice little wall here, covering that bunker. Make sure there's no links around as possible. This is actually super tight as well against the ramp, which is really nice. Does this bunker cover the bottom mineral patch? It's actually really annoying to have to like do that little stack in so that you don't lose an SEV. I don't actually know how much mining you lose from that. I wonder if anyone has actually like calculated exactly how many minerals. Like every time you do that, how many minerals do you lose? It's some number. I really wonder how much it is. You lost an SEV there as well. It is a +1 5 racks, by the way, from merz. So, very, very normal. I mean, +1 5 racks versus 3 hatch muta. It can't really get much more standard than this. And it will just come down to some muta micro. See how they play this out. eOnzErG, if he does take one of the other mains as his third, will have to take it closer to merz. So, I feel like it's likely that the first Terran move out would actually go for his third base rather than go to the natural. But we shall see, I guess. So we can see all the eggs morphing. That's presumably 9 muta on the way, Hydroden on the way as well, and there's a drone hitting to the top right to take that base, as expected. Alright, looks like got a stim out. Gonna waste some of that medic energy. And here come the mutas. So this is where it's gonna get interesting. Alright, here we go. Now we can see some real action here. So mutas coming in. Oh man, medic's a little bit away. Oh, there's the stim though. Oh, gets a nice stim, attacks and kills all but one of the Zerglings. Is this +1 finished yet? +1 is not quite finished. You can see it's still blinking away there in the engineering bay. 5 racks ready. 1 SCV freaking out. Turrets at the barracks, at the mineral lines as well. Good turret placement there. 2 turrets together in each of the correct places. eOnzErG looks like he's going to try and use this little bridge area to see if he can snipe off some Marines. It's not actually the biggest Marine force. I'm not sure. I feel like there should be slightly more than this, but I don't know. Maybe this is okay, actually. And +1 should... Yeah, okay. +1 is finished now, and there's another big stim and a lot of damage done to these mutas. You got to be careful about running across these bridges, though, because when you run across the bridges and get funneled in like this, a lot of times your Marines in the back aren't able to actually get shots off from the back. Looks like 1 muta does fall here for eOnzErG. But again, remember, you know, going 3 hatch muta doesn't really necessarily need to do significant damage here. Just needs to buy enough time for this third base to get up, for his lurkers to come out. That was a nice focus fire, by the way, taking out another muta that merz just did. But Hive already on the way for eOnzErG. Got a couple of creeps ready as well. I like that he's not morphed these into Sunkens. You know, he doesn't need to spend the 100 minerals right now to morph those 2 into Sunkens. Can wait until merz is actually moving out on the map before doing that. You know, he knows exactly where the Terran army is. Not scared of any random force showing up at his front. And it looks like merz is going to go SK Terran from here. He's lifted his factory. He's not going to get siege tanks. Going to go straight double starport here. That's got. I'm pretty sure it's a starport building underneath that floated factory. So yeah, going to see a lot of vessels. See a very classic TVZ style. And here we go. Looks like we might have a mutaling attack here on the Marines. Looks like there's only 7 mutas left right now, and not quite able to get these volleys off. It looks like eOnzErG messing up the micro a bit. Perhaps there was a touch of lag there. I want to say I'm sure that was definitely played a part in eOnzErG missing those volleys there, unfortunately. But he is getting 3 lurkers up here to the top right. So there's no chance that these Marines will be able to run up against 3 lurkers on the ramp, and eOnzErG knows this, so he's just going to counterattack with his Mutalisks. It's like more lurkers being morphed at the natural. I like this, sending the first lurkers, you know, to the closer base, to the top right. Looks like he's going to grab a couple of reinforcements as well with these mutas. Actually, very little left at home here for merz, but I guess he's not too scared of that. Now he should scan here without actually running up, right? Or maybe test it with a single Marine or something. Looks like, whoa, wait, what's happening? Alright. Just gonna engage. I mean, he can't really do anything at the top right. And it looks like Lurkerling is moving out now for eOnzErG into the middle of the map. It could be a little bit dangerous. He could run headlong into these Marines. He's gonna burrow. Is he gonna do hold lurkers though? He could do hold lurkers and use the mutas to maybe try and bait the Marines to run on top of the lurkers. This could be an insanely good move. He's moving down towards the lurkers. These got to be stopped lurkers. They are not stopped lurkers though. Oh man, eOnzErG missing a huge opportunity. If those were stopped lurkers, he would have killed so many Marines right there. Oh man, that is really unfortunate for eOnzErG. I'm extremely surprised he did not make those stop lurkers. But we do have a third command center on the way here for merz. eOnzErG's hive should be done, right? In fact, his defiler mound is done as well, getting another macro hatch in his main base. So he's going to have swarms in plenty of time to actually deal with the Marines. merz appears to be prepared to actually do the good old, like, arc attack here. Is he actually going to go for this? Can he do the micro? There's a stim. Is he going to go for it? He's going for it. There's 5 lurkers here, though. That's extremely brave. That is extremely, extremely brave. And the scan runs out. Alright, that didn't work out so well. That didn't work out so well. Medic's just gonna chill at the front here. And look like he's now heading to the top right. The problem is, with only Medic Marine, he can't do anything about these lurkers. He just needs to wait for a radiate, I guess. And oh my god, eOnzErG's gonna, oh my god, the interception. Wait, what? Interception! He doesn't have energy for a radiate. He does not have energy for a radiate. Can he get one? He gets one. Can he get 2? He's going for the double. He's not going for the double. Very nice interception. Look at eOnzErG's game sense. He knew that with the Terran army waiting outside his third, the vessels would be rallied to the Medic Marine army with 0 protection, so he waited in position to actually catch them. That is great game sense there from eOnzErG. Almost catching this vessel as well, unfortunately unable to. And he sees the third command center though. Is he gonna take this? Usually you would take this natural as your 4th as a Zerg, right? But instead he's actually just gonna place a macro hatchery in his 3rd. Now, when you're going for SK Terran here, I mean, he is building factory units now. He's actually going straight for the vultures, the mines. When you do this style as Terran, you know, you don't actually care about the gas that much. Ooh, nice snipe. So getting this mineral only base, I feel is much better for, you know, a Terran going bio compared to a lot of races. Like a lot of races, they really want their gas, right? Like PVZ, you really want the gas. You know, for Zerg players, they want the gas. Pretty much every matchup, right? Whereas Terran in TVZ, when you go bio, having the mineral only base is just fine. You know, it's you don't actually care that much. Anyway, looks like the Defiler gonna get irradiated here. Does he have Plague already? Oh, he's just gonna swarm again. Oh! That mine. Oh man, and almost another good mine here as well. And looks like a counterattack here from eOnzErG going into the 3rd base. Look at the supplies, by the way. eOnzErG ahead of his opponent in supply, actually going straight for the comsat. Not a bad idea, knowing that, you know, it's very unlikely he'll actually kill the command center, so might as well kill the comsat. That is 50 minerals, 50 gas, as well as the lost scan time and the energy, you know what I mean? So, nice little snipe there. merz is going to clear this out, and he's trying to figure out what he can do. Now, the thing is, so eOnzErG, as I said, taking this natural, even if merz can't necessarily go and kill these with just his Medic Marine force, what it is allowing is, it's allowing his vultures to start placing mines everywhere. So this is kind of like the early mech switch that that some players have started doing nowadays. You know, so I think most people who've watched Brood War before would be familiar with, you know, the late game mech switch. At Terran goes bio, they go SK Terran style, and then, you know, they take another main, they take their 4th base. Then they build, like, you know, a bunch of factories here. They do a complete switch to mech, lift all their barracks, etc. But you can actually start doing it without necessarily taking another main. You can, a lot of Zergs start, you know, from their first factory, immediately start pumping vultures with mines. And you can see here, merz is already completely switched now into mech. I'm not 100% convinced by this, since he's not in the greatest position in the game right now. He has a bit of map control, but you can see eOnzErG already going to the bottom left. Like, he doesn't really have the complete map control that you would want in this position. And looks like a nice Plague actually catches 3 of these Spines vessels. 1 Muta out, actually. The Plague hasn't finished doing its work, though. He needs to wait for the Plague to actually get them down to 1 HP, and he can actually kill all these vessels. He's going to do it now. He's doing the micro. He's killing the vessels. The Glaive Worm actually didn't finish this off because it has 1 armor and 3 HP. But a lot of Vultures, and Zerg has, you know, a really annoying time dealing with these mines at this moment because they're going Lurkerling, Defiler, and eventually Ultra. All of these things are quite susceptible to mines. The best way to deal with it is actually just to suicide small numbers of Zerglings to try and pull all the mines away. You can see eOnzErG coming down with a few links, perhaps unintentionally, maybe going to clear some of these mines. But merz, meanwhile, is pressuring this right side base. He's taking the 12 o'clock. A few links just making sure nothing is happening at the 9 o'clock. What is happening in eOnzErG's base? He's got the Ultralisk Cavern done. He's getting even more macro hatches kind of just scattered around his main base. And merz, though, has gone for the complete mechs, which you can see. A bit of a messy building placement. I mean, I could... Oh, big Plague on all these Marines. Look how many red Marines there are. Holy Plague, Batman. I can understand, you know, Zerg players not worrying too much about building placement, but for a Terran player, building placement is extremely important, right? You know, even supply depots take a lot of space, and you got to worry about your add-ons and all that stuff. So a little bit surprised that merz's layout is so wonky, and it looks like more Zerglings coming into the mineral only. Whereas more Zerglings coming out of front of eOnzErG's base just trying to do some damage. Looks like these Zerglings actually doing a ton of damage here. merz is a bit slow on the SCV pull, it seems. Or maybe he pulled one group already, and that was the second group of SCVs pulled. But he does have the 12 o'clock, though. eOnzErG appears to not be aware of this, or just, you know, it's easier to attack that top left mineral only, I guess. A lot of random buildings floating around here as well. It's quite interesting. And interestingly also, eOnzErG was slightly ahead of merz in supply, but now merz is 20 supply ahead of eOnzErG. And even though he's kind of losing control of the middle of the map, it is because he's going for the mech switch, right? And the late game Terran mech is just, oh my god, the Plagues! Another sick Plague here from eOnzErG. It's just, the late game Terran mech is so difficult for Zerg to deal with. I mean, Effort actually even mentioned this. Plague! Effort actually even mentioned this in the in his interview during ASL. Well, it wasn't really an interview. I think it was during the group stage selection, the group selection for the round of 16. I think Effort talked about this, where I think the interviewer guy or the guy was like, you know, how do you feel about, you know, the late game Terran mech or something? And Effort was like, well, if there was an efficient way to deal with it, I would be doing it already. You know, kind of implying that there isn't. Anyway, looks like eOnzErG has found this 12 o'clock base and is going to attack it with some lurkers onto the Dark Swarm. Not much that these Marines can do about that. Interesting that eOnzErG is expanding right next to the Terran base. Both players just want this top right area. And it looks like more Zerglings running down the middle of the map as well. By the way, merz is taking expansion at the bottom left and adding factories there. So even though merz expanded all on the top side to the 12 o'clock, he's also taking the bottom left. And eOnzErG actually not scouting there, not having like a random Overlord or a Zergling patrolling around there. So eOnzErG, I don't know, this is not the greatest vision from him. I mean, he's got pretty good coverage. I mean, okay, maybe that's a bit unfair. I mean, he's got a lot of Overlord coverage around the top right kind of half of the map. If you split the map on a diagonal, he's got pretty decent vision up there, but he's not seeing the bottom left. And what is going on here? The big SCV transfer through Cracklings. I assume those SCVs were supposed to head down to the bottom left base, but they get completely mauled by the incoming Zerglings. The 12 o'clock base is just gone. I don't know if all the SCVs died or they were pulled, but eOnzErG now ahead in supply. A 30 supply swing in just a couple of minutes. And it looks like a few Lings have exploded themselves on the mines. It looks like SCVs have made it down, though, to the bottom left. Another command center being added. And looks like eOnzErG trying to do some fancy lurker drop here behind the mineral only. But merz now could be in a bit of trouble. If that bottom left gets scouted, he could be in trouble because his main's mined out. His natural is effectively mined out. It's going to be gone in just, you know, less than a minute, I feel. And it looks like more Lings are pouring into the natural. A little bit of lag there for a second, although I don't know. It's like a little bit laggy in this game. I really wonder how the players feel about this. I mean, it's definitely noticeable, but you know, hopefully it's not driving them too crazy. And it looks like eOnzErG is now taking down the 12 o'clock base. Can he make a Queen and Infestive? That would be pretty cool. Definitely not what merz wants to see happen, but he has gotten away with taking the bottom left base though, so far, completely unscathed. eOnzErG, meanwhile, taking a mirror only, adding some Sunkens to make sure he doesn't get Vulture harassed. What else does he have in the base? It looks like... oh man, he's got the cows. The cows are coming out. Do they have upgrades? They do have the carapace upgrade there. 4-2 cows. This command center is actually going to die to the mutas if he doesn't repair it or pull it back or something. merz is going to lose that 12 o'clock command center. Now it looks like some Goliaths are coming out. He does have 2-1 upgrades on his mech. And he's actually floated this other command center and whoa! Looks like, oh my god, I think a Lurker drop managed to kill a bunch of SCVs here. I'm so sorry I missed this. So much action going on the map. 2 Lurkers dropped. Some SCVs have been pulled back, but you can see not many SCVs left here. And now the Ultraling is going in to the Terran's mineral only. But this is a very well defended area though. I don't think this is going to do anything. You can see the Ultra is just getting immediately blown up here by the CJ. Look at that Ultra! Almost one-shot that Ultra there. Random drop, it seems, actually killed over here. And now merz has set up a siege line on the top of this ramp. Now, can he hold on, though? He's down in supply. He's got not that many units here. He's pumping from just the 2 factories. The rest of his army is quite immobile. He did unsiege all his tanks, but look at the minimap. Look at the stream of Zerg units coming down here to the bottom left base. There is a human and random overlord here. I don't know what's going on. There's actually a drop on the command center, a crackling drop on the command center while the cracklings come in the front side at the same time. merz not paying attention. The cracklings devouring the entire mineral line, and merz is in huge trouble. He's got only SCVs here at the bottom left. The army's coming down, but the army is so slow. He's going to lose every single SCV before he can do anything with his army. Look at this. All the SCVs almost all the SCVs are going to fall. Just 5 SCVs surviving from 2 bases. Cracklings going after the factories, forcing lift on the command center, forcing lift on the factory. And while this is going on, in come the cows to the mineral only. All of the tanks were pulled to defend the bottom left, which means this Ultraling attack is going to be completely unstoppable now for merz. He's not even lifting the command center in time. It's building an SCV. The Ultraling do take it down. This base is still under attack by Zerglings. And I think this is going to be it for merz. eOnzErG, with the unstoppable Zerg play here, is going to take it down. A well-fought game by merz. Definitely did a good job in the early mid-game, but unfortunately couldn't quite convert to his mech in time, couldn't quite get enough map control to actually really safely go for the full mech switch. And eOnzErG really just making... eOnzErG, notice he wasn't really super passive. He made sure that as soon as he had the opportunity, he was constantly sending out small groups of links, constantly trying to pressure the Terran back, because if the Terran army does get to the full late game X switch, again, it's super hard to deal with. But in that transition period, that is the weakness of the Terran when they're doing that switch from bio to mech. You know, when the upgrades haven't finished yet, when you know they have to lift all their barracks, they haven't finished building the factories yet. That's a perfect time for the Zerg to attack, and eOnzErG really did a good job taking advantage of that. Now dropping Ultralisks into the Terran's main base, rather. And I mean, look at this. eOnzErG is maxed against 115 supply for merz. This is going to be the final breath of Terran, I think. Just maybe, well, he's actually got quite a few tanks down here at the bottom left. The problem is, I think the bottom left main is still susceptible to drops. You can see there's no defense in here, and eOnzErG has been dropping a lot, and the main base just keeps getting Ultralisks dumped in here. It looks like he actually has a decent number of tanks now. He is going to kind of stabilize until the next round of units comes out. I'm actually not sure where all the units are, given that eOn's max. Okay, looks like he's going for a big drop. eOnzErG is going for the big drop. 5 Overlords here. He's going to try and just kill this base once and for all. 1 Overlord does get focused down. Where's the Dark Swarm? There is the Dark Swarm. Excuse me. And Lynx coming in from the top side as well. It looks like this could be it. Sub 100 supply for merz. GG, well played. And eOnzErG takes the 2-0 victory and moves on to the round of 16.